Hi, and welcome to video number 7. In this specific video, you're going to learn how to remind yourself about your main focus. A lot of times it's very easy to get off track and get away from that main focus. So I'm going to show you how to make sure that you're consistent about having your eye on that main focus so that you can get it done. Consistency is always one of the biggest things that is needed. See, we're told to be consistent, persevere, and to avoid multitasking. But being consistent is not always easy when we have a lot of things going in our lives. It's really easier said than done. So this video is intended to help you achieve that by showing you methods that you can actually start using today. So let's go ahead and get started. You see, most of us are like frogs jumping from lily pad to lily pad, or in our case, idea to idea to idea, from task to task to task. You do an idea, you love it, you find another cool idea and you do that, or you do a task and you find another task because you're sick of the previous task, and so forth. So my whole goal here is to help you finish that task or that goal. By now you should know your weaknesses and your bad habits and kind of get an idea of how to break those bad habits. Now, as you analyze the different personality types, some of us are very systematic and some of us are just very scattered. But this can apply to everybody. The question is, do you multitask? If you multitask, which is the case for most people, do you have 10 dreams that you want to achieve at the same time? Well, we all do this. We all have those dreams that we want to achieve, and then we want to do this, but then we want to do this, and then we want to do this. But how do we know if we should do this? We start doing this and then we want to move on to the next big dream. So we never really end up finishing what we want to finish. So my goal here is to get you in the mindset of breaking multitasking and breaking multi-dreams. So these are two elements that often cause roadblocks in our life. So you're going to have that urge to multitask. It's obviously easier said than done, but you want to focus on one thing at a time instead of 10. And you're going to learn how to make realistic goals in the future videos and how to become self-accountable to that. So multitasking tends to decrease the time spent and the productivity level. And I've actually tested this out numerous times. Your mind actually loses focus when it focuses on 10 things at one time. Now, you might be thinking, oh, I can multitask. And I thought that at one time that, oh, I can multitask. This is so easy. I'm able to do things faster. But the quality drops. And I've even tested this on a computer. Like, computers are machines and they tend to do a lot of multitasking. But you'll notice that the more multitasking it is doing, the more RAM it's using and the more memory that it's using, the slower it becomes. For example, like a computer downloading 10 files at one time is actually slower than it downloading one file at a time. It actually loses kilobytes. Now, some computer experts will debate that, and I've been doing a lot of computer stuff as well, but it's very interesting. If you actually do these tests, and I know some of you are thinking like, why would I ever do that kind of stuff? But this stuff fascinates me. Like, I found that 10 files downloading at one time can actually lose a couple hundred kilobytes or 50 or so kilobytes, and it's actually slower. But we tend to think that we can do things faster in a faster rate when we multitask, but it really doesn't happen that way. Now, I've spent a whole year one time focusing on 6 different projects, most taking longer than ever and never really getting done. And I thought to myself, I just spent a whole year focusing on 6 different projects, 6 different business ventures, most of them taking longer than ever, and they never got done. Then I focused on one project per 30 days for about 4 months, and it got done more than I did, that year. So that's why I say focus at one thing at a time. It's an illusion because your mind is beginning to think, okay, multitasking is easier, but in reality, it's one thing at a time. So what you need to do is you need to figure out the triggers. We talked about this earlier on how to break bad habits. You need to ensure that you review that video again if you haven't, and if it hasn't clicked in your mind what you need to do. Find that trigger that happens before this specific bad habit. Let's say you want to multitask. Okay, what can I do to avoid multitasking? And how can I stop this bad habit so that your subconscious will eventually condition yourself to automatically avoid it? Then what you want to do is you want to create an after trigger to avoid it. Let me give you an example. What I'm normally do is I'm at the computer and there's so many things that I could be distracted with. I could be distracted by Facebook, I could be distracted by YouTube, and I've been known to spend hours watching on YouTube. And if that sounds like you, then you'll definitely want to pay close attention. So what I normally do is find something where I can get away from the distraction. I usually walk around, drink some water, take a break, and then come back and focus on the main thing. In fact, right now, every time I create a video, I found that if I walk away, drink some water, take a break, take a bathroom break, come back, it's a lot more efficient. But it used to be in the back of the day when I created video courses and then I just create all of them at one time, the quality dropped and so forth and so forth. So just try to figure out some sort of trigger that you can implement yourself that will allow you to break that bad habit. Another thing that you can do is you can avoid talking to friends using Skype or online chats while working. Now that might seem obvious if you do a lot of computer work and use the computer a lot, but that's what I find people doing. They're using Facebook, they're using YouTube, and so forth and so forth. So eliminate distraction items from the room. So go somewhere where there's no possibility of distractions, beds, TVs, kitchens, friends, family, and so forth. Spend 30 days on one dream or one attainable goal or until it is complete. And remember, focus on one dream allows you to skyrocket your speed and your quality.